Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Priska and you're probably clicking this video because you're probably curious what it would be like to have corona. So I'm more than willing to share with you all my experience because I was actually tested positive for corona. And I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of family and friends asking me what it was like when I had it and asking me what I did to treat it and what happened when I found out I was tested positive. And just a disclaimer, my experience when I had corona will be different from anyone else who has corona. Sometimes their experience is more severe or more mild than mine. So just wanted to put that out there. Some people even have corona and maybe they don't even have symptoms, right? But I definitely did show symptoms and I would like to share with you all what I experienced and how I felt. So I'm going to start off with sharing with you all the symptoms that I started noticing when I started thinking that I might have corona and that maybe I should get tested. So my first symptoms actually started out with sneezing. I started sneezing quite often, probably every hour or so, and it got pretty annoying. And this was during work. I actually went to the office, so the sneezing really did bother me and affected my work. In case anyone was wondering, I only had one other person in the department working with me, and he was sitting a meter and a half away from me at all times, because that is a protocol in the office when you do go to work. But anyways, I started sneezing quite a lot, and later that night I started getting a runny nose and my throat started hurting. And you know that feeling that you get in your throat when you know you're about to get sick? That was exactly the same feeling that I had. I thought maybe if I drank, ginger tea, just a lot of hot beverages that had helped me. But the next day it actually got a little bit worse. It started getting really dry and it started just hurting when I swallowed. In addition to that, my nose started running really badly and sneezing it just continued. I thought that maybe it could have just been the common cold, but nevertheless I still stayed at home just in case. If you do walk around outside sick, people will definitely keep their distance from you and will be scared of you, so I stayed at home just in case. The next day, what happened was that everything I had felt was just intensified, to the point where I started getting really dizzy as well, and then I started just not tasting things. I wasn't able to taste salt, I wasn't able to taste any of the food I made. More and more symptoms just came up, and I thought, just in case, let me just make an appointment and get myself tested. The next day I started feeling more dizzy, and I mean like very weak. The room was moving, it was spinning, it was moving left and right. I was really nauseous, and again my nose was just annoying me. It was just really runny. I could still breathe, but I just had to sneeze a lot and just blow my nose quite regularly. So the next day I started having a hard time breathing. And another disclaimer is that I actually have slight asthma, and so this was kind of intensified with my corona symptoms, and I really had to occasionally pat my chest and also my back just to help me breathe a little bit better. And just mind you, throughout the night it was just a disaster for me to sleep, just because my nose kept running and I would have to open my mouth to allow myself to breathe better. But my throat was just hurting and really dry. So when I sleep with my mouth open, my throat just became, the Saharan desert, drought everywhere, and it just hurt every single morning I woke up. So then what I like to do was I would like to put my mask on over my face when I sleep and line the inside of my mask with toilet paper so that I could always exchange the toilet paper every single time. But it really helped, catch all the gross stuff, but also to keep the moisture in, to allow myself to breathe with my mouth open, but not allow my throat to get extremely dry to the point where I just am in pain the next day. So that's what I did. On Tuesday, I got my appointment. And I went into my appointment and I got myself tested. It wasn't bad. It was really quick. It was probably about like a minute long. Another thing with my breathing was that when I had a hard time breathing, it wasn't consistent. There'd be days when I had a hard time breathing and days where I was just perfectly fine. The other symptom that I had was that I had really bad muscle pain all over my body. It was really annoying and honestly just a nuisance to add to every other symptoms that I have been having throughout the week. And I just felt like I needed a deep tissue massage all over. It was not nice at all. The feeling was uncomfortable. It was just, I was in an uncomfortable situation. But eventually I did find out what my test results were. And I got my test results about exactly 5 days after I got tested. And they had told me that I have tested positive for corona. But on the day they actually did tell me, my symptoms actually just started to calm down from there. I didn't notice any new symptoms. I just felt, just really weak and I just felt very bleh, but my sneezing had already stopped. My runny nose, it calmed down. It wasn't intense as it was before. And that was good. And the people that called me that told me that I had tested positive for corona, they're from the GGD, the Health Municipal Services here in the Netherlands. And they had told me that now that I have definitely tested positive for corona, that I am not to go outside, and I can only go outside when I have no more symptoms for 24 hours. And that's exactly what I did. Actually, I waited 72 hours until I noticed there's absolutely no symptoms. And then after 72 hours, I finally was able to go out again. And I felt like I was confident enough to be around other people. So that's that. And honestly, to sum up all my symptoms and just how I felt when I had corona, it was like a mixture between having a cold and as well as a fever. Oh, and that's another thing I forgot to mention, was that I think on the third day, definitely the third day, when I started noticing some symptoms, I was very cold. I just had chills all over my body. I had the temperature turned all the way up. I had a blanket. I had double sweaters on, and I was just so cold. But I think that only lasted for about 2 days. So again, my symptoms weren't very consistent. I think the only thing that was really consistent was my sore throat and my headaches. That was probably the most consistent thing that I had during my time with the virus. But that's pretty much it when it comes to, how I felt and the sickness. And I would say that my symptoms, everything kind of ended at almost, I would like to say exactly 7 days. And then after 7 days, I just started feeling just kind of weak, but again, nothing was too intense for me anymore. I was able to work again, of course, like normal, without any distractions, and I was able to eat again. I was starting to taste flavor again. So that was nice. Another really common question that I get is, a lot of people have asked me, what did GGD say when they told me that I tested positive for corona? Like, what happened? A lot of people wanted to know if I was transported to the hospital to get quarantined there. And a lot of people wanted to know if GGD gave me medicine to treat COVID-19 for me, to help me with my symptoms. And the answer is no to both. When I was tested positive for corona, of course, I had to quarantine at home. The last thing anybody wants is for me to walk out with corona just to make my way over to the hospital. The hospital, I think it's full enough and is, reserved for those who are severely ill and on the verge of dying. I'm 25 years old right now. I think I could handle some cold-like, fever-like symptoms, because that's that's how I experienced it. It was annoying, but to a certain extent. I don't think I needed the hospital, to be honest. So self-quarantining from home was good enough for me. In terms of medicine, the only thing I did was honestly I drank a lot of tea, a lot of ginger tea, green tea, and I used a lot of tiger balm. And I just spread that all over my neck and my chest and, you know, the back of my ears and my temples, my stomach. You know, when I was younger and I was sick, my mom would always put tiger balm or any Chinese oil on my body, and I don't know, that just helped me, and that's the only thing I did. And I ate a lot of clementines, and the vitamin C just really helped me with my throat. And I always added honey to my tea, always. And yeah, that honestly was the only medicine I took. I think I also took ibuprofen a couple times. It didn't make any difference at all, but I took it regardless. I needed something. I needed some painkillers. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And I think for me, I just needed some time for my body to fight the virus, and eventually it did. And it just needed time, you know. And I just needed to continuously drink water, make sure I eat on time, and that was enough for me to recover. What else was a really common question that people have been asking me? A lot of people wanted to know what GGD asked me when they told me that I had tested positive for corona. And GGD just wanted to know who I was in contact with 5 days before my symptoms and throughout the time I had corona. And they just wanted to do some contact tracing just to see if they can figure out where I got the corona and how it spread to me and how I could possibly spread it to other people. And they asked me for names of people that I have been in contact with 5 days before the symptoms, because it takes 5 days for the virus to affect the body. Just like the common cold, when you get the cold, you know, you don't notice the symptoms right away. It takes a couple days or a few days. And that's kind of the same thing with the coronavirus. So I told them who I was in contact with. They included, you know, my housemates, because I had dinner just 2 days before I had the symptoms. And also a couple of friends I saw on the road on my way to work and on my way home. So I said all their names, gave their contact details and everything, because they had told me that they will call these contacts of mine and tell them that someone that they know have been tested positive for corona and that they should be quarantined in their home for 10 days. I did ask all of my friends, mind you, I did tell all of my friends and all the people I have been in contact with that I did test positive for corona, and just for them to watch out and just be prepared for a phone call from GGD. None of my friends have been called. Yeah, so I think it's good that I told them anyways to quarantine just in case, but no one was called. I think it's because there's just so many people right now in the Netherlands that's been tested positive for corona that maybe there's just not enough time, not enough manpower to be calling all these people to tell them that, you know, someone that they know have been tested positive for corona. And that's pretty much all I can say with my experience. There's really nothing extra that I could say. I didn't go to the hospital. I obviously didn't die. No one else that I was in contact with died. No one else that I was in contact with got the coronavirus. But just because I was able to get through that so easily, you know, the way I did, it doesn't mean that those around me are able to have the same kind of luxury. You know, there are those who are of high risk that I could potentially infect because I didn't follow the rules and I went out regardless and I didn't get tested. So if you think that you have symptoms, honestly, just get tested and stay at home. You do not know who you could be infecting, and people might not be as lucky as me and and you if you're younger and strong enough to go through the virus. But yeah, we have to keep in mind of those around us and really follow the rules. Don't go into crowds, stay 1.5 meters away from everyone, wear masks in places you need to wear masks, and continuously wash your hands. I mean, even if we're not in Corona times, wash your hands. I would like to close the video here, and I thank you all for watching and clicking this video and for coming to my channel. I really do hope that you all can stay, as I hope to be posting more videos soon of more sit-down talks here with you. It's not a normal thing for me to do. This is definitely the first, and I'm kind of nervous, but I hope you stick around and see what other content I post. And thank you guys all, and I hope you guys all have a very great day, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Bye!